Hello, Inspiration right here. So let's give me my review of Venom. I went and saw it yesterday with G-Man. This won't be a long video, about 10 minutes, maybe a bit longer. First of all, I want to say I love the film. I thought it's very good. I'll go into more on that in a minute. You know, critics, I think, have criticised it for it being a bit too much of a comedy. Like, there's a lot of comedy parts in it when Venom's like talking to Eddie Brock, as like when he's inside his head. You know. But I think that's one of the points about the film that made it good. So I'm going to start by saying it was a very good storyline. What I mean by that is they didn't take too long to get to the action. They didn't take too long to introduce Venom and Eddie together. To my surprise, Venom can swim. I didn't know that. So I thought it was a very, very good mixture of storytelling but action, and not too much focusing on Venom, not too much focusing on Eddie Brock, or them being separate. I think they've done that really well, like really nutted how they did, like built the storyline up from when you first meet Eddie to Venom being in him, to then Venom and Eddie being together to the end fight. So I loved that about the film. I also thought it was a very good mixture of comedy and action. What I mean by that is, obviously, you know, yeah, there is comedy when Eddie's talking to Brock, Eddie's talking to Venom, like, and their separate personalities, or Venom's inside Eddie's head. You know, there is very funny moments. There's one bit when, spoilers, Venom says jump out the window, and then he's like, no, I'm not doing that, and then Venom turns around and calls him a P-U-S-S-Y. Can't not saying the word because I don't want to demonetize, but you get the drift. It's very backwards and forwards banter between them, and I reckon it works very well, to be honest. But then you've also got your mixture of action in there, like the bike chase, the ending fight, a lot of good fight scenes in there. So again, that is a good mixture there as well of fighting but comedy. It worked for me. I know, like I said, the critics have panned the film. I think that's one of the reasons why they've panned the film, because of the comedy in it. But I think it works very well. Because, you know, first of all, yeah, Eddie doesn't accept Venom being part of him. But then, and first of all, you know, Venom doesn't want to stay on Ireland. But then they grow to be with each other. Like each other. So I think there's a very good mixture of those stuff. Like, you know, comedy and action. Good story. There obviously is a lot of Easter eggs. There's She-Venom in it. There's hints of the other ones, I think. If I remember correctly, there's Scream and Lasher are two of the other symbiotes that you see, like, in the pods. Because obviously, I think, if I'm correctly, don't shoot me if I'm wrong on it, I'm not an expert on Venom, but I believe Scream was a yellow symbiote and Lasher was a blue. But you definitely saw those colours in the film. Obviously, you got Stan Lee Easter egg as well. Stan Lee's in the... you got Stanley Easter eggs, he's in the film. You obviously got your end credit. Like I said, don't watch this if you haven't seen it, but I would have thought you would by now. You got your end credit with, obviously, what's his face, the Carnage set up, where, you know, Eddie goes to interview Cadius Clay, is it? Or whatever Carnage's human side is. And, you know, he sets out with the old, I promise you when I get out of here, it's going to be Carnage. Of course, that's a set up for Carnage to be in the next one, or the third one, depending if they do a series. You know, I agree with the rating. I do think it should be a 15, because there's obviously a lot of gore. There is quite a bit of gore, like biting heads off and stuff like that. And, well, mainly biting heads off. And how the symbiotes enter the people. So I do agree with the rating. Do I think Spider-Man will appear in one of the films eventually? Yeah, because basically used off, if I'm correctly, Ultimate Carnage and another comic book. Like the Foundation, the Life Foundation is actually part of one of them's comic books. I think it's loosely based on Ultimate Carnage, another comic book. But I don't know that comic book off by heart. So, but I don't think it's a direct copy of those. I think it's loosely based, if I remember correctly. What can I say? Obviously they've set up for the next film, I said that, like I said, with the end credit scene with Carnage, they set that up for the next film. Or the third film, depending on how they want to go with the series. I think they definitely want to do a couple films, like, you know, Venom's a very well-known popular character. Why would you not? I don't think it's the end of Riot because, yeah, he did die at the end. Pursue, I can't say the word. Presumed. He's presumed dead at the end of the film because you see him get exploded. But the thing is, he could come back because you've got to think about it. Sonic frequencies and fire are the two things that symbiotes can't stand. But Venom came back and he was caught on fire as well at the end of the film. So if Venom can come back, I think if they wanted to, they would find a way to bring Riot back. You know, especially for a character that again, I think in the comic books, he's not actually a main villain in the comic books. I believe it's Scream who wants to kill the symbiotes and go after Venom. So, you know, he's not a main villain, so especially with how the film's done him as a main villain, which I thought they'd done a superb job, because there's obviously not a lot of material for him to be based on. Well, there is, but not as a super villain, because he's not particularly a villain, like a big villain in the books, like I said, Scream, that is. But I think they've done an excellent job portraying him, and I think if they wanted to bring him back, they could, because, like I said, yeah, he got blown up by the rocket, and so does his human host. But we all know symbiotes can find other human hosts. So it's been done in the comics loads. So if they wanted to, I think they could bring him back. Great cast again for this film. Props to Tom Hardy. I think without Tom Hardy, it wouldn't have been the film it was. I think Tom Hardy is just one of those amazing actors that could pull off such a unique character like Venom and a unique film like Venom, because obviously it takes a lot to, you know, bring Venom to life. He's not exactly an easy character to portray, and Eddie was obviously talking to himself and getting the dialogue and whatnot, but I think Tom Hardy, perfect choice. He's done an amazing job with the Eddie Brock and Venom character. I think if they picked someone else, it wouldn't have been half as successful. Same with the female lead, she was very good. I don't really know her name, not really seen in any other films, but she was good, you know. Especially when she came She-Venom, you know, had their little snog and transferred the symbiote back to Eddie. Obviously, there's part when Venom saves Eddie as well, which is good because you could see throughout the film how they like grow their relationship from co-assisting to working as one. And the only other thing I want to say is my favourite film. Two other things. Special effects obviously were amazing, which, you know, they have to be. For a film like Venom, you have to have amazing special effects, otherwise it would just flop. As well as, obviously, the actresses and whatnot, and a good storyline. But my favourite thing of the film, apart from the big end fight, was the bike chase. I have to say that was an amazing scene in the film. I think that really highlighted the Venom powers. I really think it highlighted Venom and Eddie by themselves. And I think it really highlighted the special effects as well. It's just an amazing part of the film, and it was one of my favourite parts. It just highlighted everything so well. And, you know, Venom, obviously, that's when you get the big reveal of Venom, and he saves Eddie's life. So yeah, that is my review of Venom. Definitely go and see it if you're into action. Definitely go and see it if you're into Venom or Spider-Man, because obviously Venom's part of the Spider-Man universe. Part in the comics, should I say. Obviously on film they're keeping them separate at the moment. Overall, like I said, amazing film. Definitely would recommend them going to see it. So that's been my review of Venom. I will be back next week, hopefully if the internet don't go. Tuesday, Black Ops, it's finally installed, so I'll be starting out Little J on Tuesday, and then you get your Spider-Man on Wednesday, and Saturday you'll get your NBA. And then during the week, at some point, you'll get a Johnny English review, because I am definitely going to see it on Friday. And you'll get your Batman book at some point. That's the bonus videos for next week. So I've been Inspiration Way. This has been a Venom review. If you haven't checked it out already, which I would have thought you would, because it's been 2 weeks out in cinema, go and check it out. Awesome film. Inspiration Way, out.